Welcome to Curious Conversations about Brain Change, where we have open conversations about brain change and challenging situations. Please like, subscribe, and share this out to help spread Teepa all over the world.
Hey, everybody. Good to be with you this evening. And we have two wonderful guests with us, Arnie and Joanna. Now, Arnie, tell us a little bit. Oh, we have more people here. That's not fair. There is Matthew also, there's Beth, and there's Cheryl. But y'all have seen them before if you've been on our Curious Conversations in the evening. But we actually have live with us two people who are living with brain changes that are recognized as related to neurodegeneration, as opposed to the rest of us who have brain changes that are related to circadian rhythm, not having dinner, having had wine with dinner, not me, I'm just saying that it could have been happening, or being early in the morning over in Australia. I mean, people talk about brain change like it's the only people who have it are people who live with dementia. Um, and I'm here to say that some of the biggest challenges we run across in this space is recognizing we all have brain change. And if I would own my own it and be aware of it, I can make a big difference in what happens between us, but only if I'm able to be aware of what's happening for me and decide to do something about it. So now let me go to my friend Arnie. Arnie, go ahead and give us a little background, if you would, on you and your story. And also, I'll add why you're here.
Why am I here? Because you
Yeah.
invited me, Teepa.
Well, it's true, but why would you come? I mean, I'm sure you get more invitations that you choose not to take people up on.
I'm here because I am an advocate for myself and everybody else with neurocognitive degeneration, whether it be Alzheimer's, Lewy body, vascular, everything that comes under the umbrella of dementia. Oftentimes people get it wrong. They think everything's under Alzheimer's, and it's not. Everything's under dementia. I was diagnosed in 2015, initially with mild cognitive impairment and early onset dementia.
Okay, so Arnie, pause just a second because I don't want to play down the length of time from your diagnosis to now.
Okay.
If I got the date right,
Right.
your symptoms were significant enough that they showed up in your ability to perform tasks back in 2015.
That was when I noticed enough that I had to seek help for the problem. If I retrospect, things probably started 2 to 3 years ahead of that.
Right. But your symptoms were enough that this wasn't like every couple months you'd have a little blip on the radar screen. This was becoming something that was bothering you and impacting how you were doing your life enough that you just couldn't ignore it anymore.
Yeah, it got to the point that I couldn't cover it up anymore. Let's put it that way.
Okay. So now we're talking a good solid 10 years.
Yes.
Yeah. And yet you are still here responding to my questions as I ask them.
Yep.
Yeah. Pausing when you need to, coming up and telling stories from before. And so, okay, Beth and Cheryl, what's the common sort of statements we will hear out in the world around us about somebody like Arnie?
Wow. You don't look like you have dementia. You don't sound like you have dementia. You're way smarter than even I ever was.
That's not a direct quote or anything, is it, Cheryl? What's the other ones I can think of? Well, honestly, with your dementia, people live about, less. There's no way you have dementia because you wouldn't be like this in 10 years. I feel bad saying this to my friends.
Well, I mean, what I would say is that probably you don't have, yours is probably a pseudo dementia, really, because there's no way you could be where you are now if you had true dementia.
Well, Joanna's has got to all be in her head because she's female too.
So, Arnie, these kind of comments, are we making this up and you've never heard this before? Or these are the kind of things that people who don't understand dementia actually do say?
They are probably the most common statements that are, excuse me, are said, because people and the public are used to seeing people in end stage.
Yeah. Yeah. It goes from not noticing to end state. And somehow the life that people are able to live in between, and how people live their life with value and purpose, and by being engaged and using the resources they have and developing resources. Well, you're one in a million. And it's like, I don't know that I mean, I think you're great, Arnie, but I don't know that you're one in a million.
No, I'm not. From the people that I interact with through through invitations like this to speak, I know I'm not one in a million. And it makes me feel safer that I know I'm not one in a million.
Yeah. So what has changed for you? Because I think people might then think, oh, well, I mean, he's doing really well. And it's like, and I will say, yes, you are doing well, but what has changed for you? You have to know the baseline to know how much shift there has been for you. What are some key things that have changed for you?
Multitasking and executive function has gone to the crapper. Trying to figure out where I'm going, and I get lost a lot in trying to drive, or even when we might be out at a big mall. If Michelle's not right on my arm, excuse me, and I've gone to the bathroom, I may not find her. She'll have to come looking for me.
And you're looking for her. So it's not like you're not trying to find her. Your eyes can't locate her in all the stimulus that is around you.
Correct. And oftentimes I've just made the wrong turn somewhere and can't find its way back.
Yeah. So thanks, Arnie. I'm going to switch over to Joanna. So, Joanna, tell us a little bit about you and why you're here tonight.
I too was invited here tonight by.
Who are these people that keep inviting you? That's what I want to know.
It's Matthew's fault. Yeah.
Wait. I think it was me who started the chain.
Well, I got diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease at age 48. That was in 2016. The dog has something to say about that too.
Yeah.
9 years ago, 57 now. I'm sorry. That just like took me somewhere else. But you know what? That's okay. I'm back. Okay, so
could you pause for a second, Joanna? Would you mind pausing for just 1 second?
No.
What Arnie said about not being able to multitask, what we got to see and hear is Joanna also struggles with multitasking because something caught her attention. And it's something she wished hadn't happened, because I want to add that in. I'm going to frame it as annoying. Is that fair? Or should I frame it as something else?
Well, she's laying down where she can hear you. She's never annoying. It's just more than one thing taking my attention, and I can't choose. It was chosen for me. Go. What's my precious doggy up to?
Right. the person who's with you versus those of us on a screen that are flat objects that don't have as much impact on your life immediately.
Well, you do, but you're not my precious doggy.
It's all true. It's true. So tell us a little bit about your background, if you would, for those of who out there who have no idea who either of these people are, Arnie and Joanna, because I describe them as first name people because that's who they are for us in PAC. But Joanna, tell us a little bit about who you are.
I, well, I am just living the dream with my husband and my dogs. I used to teach college. I have a PhD in psychology, and I used to work with law enforcement. My specialty was psychological assessment and cognitive testing. I loved being a college professor, an administrator, and an independent contractor, and really thought I'd be doing that still. Apparently that was not the plan. And in my early 40s, like 41 even, is when I started having symptoms, executive functioning, like Arnie talks about, and extreme fatigue. And so those were the really early signs. It wasn't memory. To the best of my memory, it was not memory, because I would have complained about that. And so what was the next question? See?
No, you did a great job. I mean, you explained sort of what life was like before and now and how you first experienced it. What do you find now when it comes to having conversations with people?
They can be challenging at times if that person, if we don't know each other, if they are coming in to do the reporting, right? The agenda, the people with the agenda. And I call them the reporters. They want to come in and report. We all have people like that in our lives, and rather than engaging. And it can be a challenge because I used to be able to be flexible and ebb and flow, and even sometimes do the heavy lifting in that relationship. So not only am I not very proficient at that anymore, I downright, I'm just going to say, fail. And depending on the moment or the day, will oftentimes really negatively impact that engagement or that interaction because of the frustration. Because I know I used to be able to do this. I can't do it. I'm frustrated, and I'm trying to teach. And this other person doesn't either have any awareness, any skills, any education, or any patience. And now I have to be the teacher in the middle of this frustration. Do you see where I'm going with this?
I do see where you're going with it. And it's fair. And so my greatest curiosity is what would an outcome look like or sound like when you reach that point of, and I'm gonna say it so you don't have to. What are you, an idiot? What part of this
Sometimes.
are you not getting?
Sometimes, yes, I'm the idiot. Sometimes, most of the times, I'm not the idiot.
I'm saying that's what I would say to the other person. I think if it were me, if I lost my ability to keep my shield up and not say stuff like that.
I kind of felt like the idiot this morning. I know the example you want me to talk about, but I mean, this is just kind of day-to-day stuff.
Go for it.
We got a new coffee maker to take in the RV. I have an RV, and because I don't get on the airplane, so we got a coffee maker to take in the RV, and apparently the spot where you put your cup under for the coffee to go in is also a spot where you it's got a little container when your mug isn't under there where you can store the little coffee pods. It's like a Keurig or something. So my husband brought this home and was explaining it this morning, telling me, well, this is where, I'm going to try this out, and this is where the coffee gets stored. And I said, okay, so where does the coffee come out for the mug? And he goes, it's the same place. Oh my God. I said, no, that's not right, because if it comes, two things can't take up the same space. He's like, no, they both go there. I'm like, no, that's
No.
not right. So you're telling me you put the mug inside the container that stores the pods and everything gets wet, and then you have, I mean, and so yes, I was the idiot, but really he was
No, I
the
think
bigger
you're
one
using,
because he didn't
no,
explain
no, Joanna, you were using physics and he was using English.
He
Because
was
what you
wanting
were
me to
describing
include
is two objects cannot occupy the same place at the same time. I mean, that's a physics phenomena.
right. And so he, being my loving, wonderful, darling husband, was going, my wife can intuit this because, I used to be able to read between the lines, get the joke. If someone tells me, you can lead a horse to water, a whore to water. Okay, that too. It's like, where's the horse? Sorry. This is a family show. I know. So you can leave. If someone said
We do R. We're R rated. I'm very clear. We're always R rated. It's safest to R rate us so that people don't have to worry about are we or aren't we. We're R rated pretty
so
much.
whether it's a horse or a whore, I'm like looking for that. I'm looking
Yeah.
for the horse, and I'm looking for the water because I'm literally thinking, having these pictures.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for me to intuit
Wow.
and read between the lines. So that's not something I used to struggle with, and I'm not stupid, and I know I've heard that phrase. It's just it's just not, I'm not able to retrieve that. And so if someone's assuming because Arnie and I look so together, maybe they don't want to offend us, so they're speaking in this little PC language. It's like, please come out and say it. Just put it out there, because you're making me work harder than I have to, and that's using cognitive reserves I don't have.
Precious reserves.
Right.
Yeah. So as you were talking about that, you really reminded me, because I remember back in the day, back when I taught at the University of North Carolina School of Medicine, and we would use it was a book called Little Things, The Little Things. And it was to help young medical students and residents learn how to gather information to make a judgment call. I mean, back in those days, we recognized it was a judgment call about somebody's cognitive status. And so one of the things we would do is we'd give them sayings. We give people sayings to see what they did with them. And so I would say, let's say, for instance, people in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. So if you have the capacity, you would be able to describe what that means. But what's a concrete interpretation of those words, Joanne? Can you help me?
Yeah, if I had a house made out of windows and I didn't want them broken, I shouldn't be tossing rocks, out of my own house.
Yep.
That's very, precarious. Yeah.
Don't count your chickens before they hatch.
How do you do that without crawling up into the chicken? 1, 2. I don't know.
That's a spontaneous. So your spontaneous brain activity when something like that is said is to think about the words, not think about the intent of the words. I am imagining if I said, now don't be concrete, see if you can think of what you think the meaning of that is.
Well, those context clues are really helpful, but they're not. I'm not always able to get it. I'm not always able to get it, and that's where it's on the other person to be using a slower pace, fewer words, and being very intentional. And I mean, I hate this because Arnie and I think we both have a pretty healthy sense of humor, so we can dish it out, and we like when people, have a sense of humor. But I think people need to also realize that this is a tough place for us to be in because we didn't used to be this way. And so if it's coming across as just because I can't demonstrate that I get the thing doesn't mean I'm not processing it. Like today, I don't feel I'm using my best words because I don't know where they are. But I can give you that example of the spaghetti pot that you were telling me about.
Yeah, we're going to do that in a minute.
Oh, okay. Remind me, because that was a million years ago.
Yeah,
or 9.
I mean, it's good. Yeah, Beth, when you listen to Joanna today, what are some of the things that pop into your brain listening to her?
I mean, I think so. What's popping in my brain when I listen to her and when I talk with Arnie and actually consult with the both of them, what I've learned through the occupational therapy approach and the PAC approach, the SNOW approach, is that I can hear intelligence beyond something as simple as word finding, or I can hear and interact with my two friends and colleagues so that I can get advice and they can give me professional perspective on things. And I can recognize when I've got to just slow down my pace because I'm doing run-on sentence like I am now. I'm not using rhythmic messaging to help support my language. I have to make my sentences simpler because then I can get like the most amazing, rich, deep stuff out of it. But it wasn't until I went beyond just a belief that the person truly, as we say, I am who I am who I always am, but I am different. I didn't know how to work with that. And I think that's where the skill part comes in the communication. I can hopefully sometimes, when I'm at my best, find communication in ways with support of this program that wasn't there before. It was just going on faith before. Does that make sense?
I think so, because to me, I mean, what Joanna brings when she says, I'm having trouble finding my words, and I listen to some of the words she uses, her vocabulary that she started off with
Her
is
baseline
so massive that it's hard, I think, for people who start with small vocabularies to believe, like, how can she say that? And it's like, well, because she notices the holes in the vocabulary list. I can't see her holes in the vocabularies because I'm not inside her brain. She is. And there are these spaces where she knows there should be things, but she still has workarounds because she had such a rich vocabulary. Arnie is very similar but different, but his is he uses pauses differently than Joanna does. Has been my observation with you, Arnie. Would you agree that you use pauses more, or what do you use to support?
Yeah, I use pause more because as often, and I also have a hearing problem, but it's not so much the hearing, it's the connection from the spoken word to the uh, from the spoken word to what I'm understanding. And there's a lag time. And I compare it to the old Japanese monster movies where you would hear something and then you'd see the mouth work and then you would hear something so that there was a connection lag there. And of course,
Mhm.
it drives people crazy. It does for me too. And that's sometimes where my pause is until I'm able to incorporate that and put it together. So that's where my pauses come up a little bit more.
So yours is a little different than Joanna's because, and Beth was indicating that in the chat that we have going on, because you can take in the words, but processing them and figuring out the meaning of them takes longer. So there's this hesitation button Whereas Joanna can't find the frigging word that she knows should be in that space. And she gets flustered with herself because she knows it and she knows it should be there. But it's like somebody took the the whiteboard eraser and did this with it. And then, oh, look. And now they took water and rubbed it back across. And it's like, well, there it is. It was there the whole time. And it's like, oh, if it were just gone, completely gone and never coming back, it would be a little different than that phenomena. Yeah.
Yeah.
So now I want to turn to the idea of communication without so many words. And we could start with, well, Joanna, it is surely good to see you this evening. And I'm wondering if you had any words of wisdom for us. I know that you're someone who lives with dementia. I'm just going to pause. And I'm curious what happens for you all when I do that. I know what happened to me, but
it's cringy. I don't want to show you the middle finger because I've been biting my nails. Otherwise, if they were done, I'd totally give you 2 fingers up.
You took my words, Joanna.
Tell me, was it the words that I used? Or did you even hear the words that I used?
I didn't hear the words. I mean, I heard them, but
Yeah.
I kind of stopped hearing them because it was the whole presentation was cringy, and so I kind of tuned it out for my own sanity. I just, oh boy, she's got some trouble going on today. You know,
So
I would have asked, like, I mean, I know you were friends, but
Yeah.
if it was someone else, I would have asked if you had a learning impairment or if there was something going on. Beth knows me because I've asked people this that have approached me like that, like, or asked somebody next to me, is there something wrong with them? They think they're acting like the something is wrong with me. Well, I know what's wrong with me, and that is not it.
Yeah.
I don't do that to people.
Arnie, do you have any words you want to give me? Because I think what I did was what I've seen and heard people do time and time again when they believe what they need to do. This is their phrase. I need to simplify this and slow it down so Joe, and I want to get right where she can see me or he can see me, and I want to make sure that they can hear my voice.
Well, as you describe it, there is the problem, is they want to get into your face. And in doing that, they infringe on your personal space, which makes everybody upset right away, and anxiety sets in and you want to push away. And then it's by the other person, it's saying, well, they're not behaving right. They're not cooperating.
Yeah. So this is one of my frustrations is people, women particularly. So Arnie, I hear you used to be a physician. So I bet it was really hard to not be a physician anymore when you got your diagnosis. Is that right?
No, it's not right, because I still am a physician. Nobody has taken away that title from me. But with phrases like that, I start to lose my identity.
Ow.
Yeah, which is hurtful. Start to lose identity and start to lose my purpose, which early on, Joanna knows, probably put me in the hole of desperation.
Ooh, super important message to hear. And I think too few people understand that. Oh, you used to be a college professor. Well, I am a college professor. I'm retired now.
Yeah, we're still in here. And so even though we are not always in a space or a moment to demonstrate that well or at all, doesn't mean this is not all going on inside. And it's I know it's got to be like being in jail. Well, one time I was there, it was better than having dementia, but it is like you're trapped because you go, if you knew what was going on inside, you wouldn't be talking to me that way.
Ah, so why do people do it, do you think? What's the information that they have in their head that gives them that sense that that's how to talk to someone? Where's it coming from? Do you get a sense? Both, either one of you.
I think it's coming from a long history of being fearful of people that are unpredictable, unreliable, different now, that may have a, what they consider a shorter fuse, which, I mean, my experience with all of my friends who have different dementias is we're like the most docile, hang out, chill people on the freaking planet. You guys should try it sometime. And, Rachel does a really good job of this. She is, and I mean, I've got a lot of, and the rest of you on the screen, just talking to me like her friend. And then I'm not in a place of feeling defensive, and I'm not in a place of feeling like, gosh, I've got to insert something really quick in this empty space because they think I'm stupid because I'm not responding right away. I start to kind of perseverate and have this. I've got to defend myself because this person doesn't have a clue. That doesn't happen with Rachel and with my other, friends and my pack peeps. That, I mean, this is your job, right? To know, to
This
learn
is our choice.
and your choice. And yeah, I didn't mean it to say it that way.
No, I mean, I think that's different, Joanna, and I appreciate the word difference.
Yeah. Yeah, I
It
mean,
is a job, but for us, it's an active choice. We
Right.
have capacity to choose, and we make the choice that I want to be with a friend. And
Yeah.
I want people to feel like it's a friendship, not a unequal relationship, because it isn't. I mean, you have something I don't have, and I have some things you don't have. I mean, it's just, but
Right.
it's not an unequal thing. It's just a different thing.
Right. And that's what puts me in a really good place here to move forward, spend more time, engage more. And the opposite is what puts me in a bad, defensive, fearful, angry, and sad, depressed place where I do not want to interact.
Yeah. Arnie, you've been doing a good number of talks in a number of places. What, without words, when people do it, like things people do, not necessarily with words, really gets you to a place of not comfort?
If too many people come up to me at the same time, the sweet spot even and a meal or whatever is 4, maybe 6 people. And when a group after a lecture, I don't have the ability to position myself where I need to be. So I've got input coming from every direction. And before this, I could process 3 conversations from 3 different rooms. Now I'm lucky if I can process 1 conversation. And if it's not the person standing in front of me and talking to me where I can see their facial expression, I'm shit out of luck.
Yeah.
So, I've had to learn to, as somebody asked me turn to face them directly, or now I've gotten finally enough nerve to ask them to step over and face me. So that's part of it. And some people just act like they are afraid that they're going to catch this from me.
Yeah,
So,
although we know it might be a malformed protein, I'm fairly certain that it's not in the air that you're putting out. She says facetiously. I know that's a nasty word, but this whole idea that by associating with people who have brain changes, that it somehow increases your risk is like, I don't think that's the problem. I think you allow yourself to be distressed because you're not really prepared for the interactions because people make assumptions about what works and what doesn't. Um, and some assumptions are like, Arnie, you didn't take your pills yet. You need to go take your pills,
yeah, I
as a
mean,
way of sharing information that, hey, Arnie, I was looking at your pill box and I looked at this morning and it looks like the pills are still in there.
no, they're not.
They're not.
I,
Huh.
I took my pills.
You did. Would you come with me? I want to take a look at it because I swear I thought I saw the pills in there. So let's look at the calendar first. So it's Wednesday, right?
Yeah.
And we're in the evening. So that should mean that Wednesday is empty if you were to open the morning slot, right?
Well, oh shit, I took the nighttime pills,
Ah.
not the morning pills.
Oh, bummer. Okay. So what do you think we should do about that, Doc?
Um, One, I've got to be more careful, but two, my care partner, Michelle, has to hover over me a little bit more.
Okay, so we know that for future use, we might need to be a little more careful with the W and the M in the morning and the evening and the Monday and the Wednesday. But what about right now, Doc? Because I know you're a doctor, and so I'm going to check with you. We skipped a dose this morning. Do you think you should go ahead and take it now in the evening when you've just taken your other dose? Or do you think what shall we do with that, do you think?
Should skip the dose because otherwise
Oh,
it's going
okay.
to throw everything off.
Okay. Well, I agree with you. So we're going to be more careful in the future, and so that's real different than Arnie, you told me you didn't take the dose. You told me you took the dose. You didn't take the dose. See, this gets us in trouble because you think you've done things you haven't. How's this sitting with you, Arnie? Just out of curiosity.
Go ahead, piss me off a little more.
Is it likely to get you to want to take the pills? I'm just out of curiosity. Is it improving the odds that the pills are going in your mouth anytime soon?
The pills are going somewhere, but they're not.
I was going to say, if I drop it, one of the cats gets it. And
Maybe in my mouth. Maybe that's where the pills.
And if you've ever seen a cat on an antipsychotic, that's really interesting.
I'm sorry. But we're laughing because we could sit here and laugh because we are friends, but we can also appreciate care partners without any preparation for this can get so flustered that they really feel so responsible, but the behavior that we're exhibiting isn't particularly helpful, nor is it likely to achieve the goal that we ultimately have, which is your well-being and my well-being.
Right.
Um,
Well,
and
and Joanna and I are very fortunate. We have care partners that kind of hover over us. But
are super skilled.
yeah, but other people that are single
Mm.
is a whole different world.
And they have paid people who may or may not be trained as well to provide some support.
Not everybody
Or not.
does because they can't afford it.
And so I was doing some tone of voice things. I was doing some accusational kinds of phrasing. That when we talk about communicating, there's a lot that gets communicated. You could use exactly the same words, or you could choose to use different words, but how it gets framed up impacts the relationship pretty significantly.
Well, sometimes it's not the phrasing, it's the tone of voice, or kind of how it's presented, even using the exact same words. I mean, I don't know if that's, I have no children, but my understanding is that's what goes on in childhood too. So now you're back to somebody who's reliving a childhood.
And so old trauma, old relationship sort of starts cropping up as though that's one that I feel now. And if I didn't like it then, and I would throw my peas because I'm not eating them. And now I know a word that I didn't know when I was a little kid. And that word is, this tastes like shit. I'm not eating it. According to some scales out there, which I abhor, you are now verbally aggressive by using that phrase.
Yep.
I can use that phrase not being diagnosed with dementia, and I'm just rude. But now there's a different label that gets applied if you're living with brain change. And people are looking for reasons to mark or tick a box for the application of another medication, perhaps.
Right. And they're looking selfishly to themselves for an explanation of what's going on. And if, and I'm going to go off topic a second, I'm sure, because when you're talking about children, when you're born and you're a child, you're in diapers. Now, when you have Alzheimer's and you're 70 years old, you're in diapers. Where's the circle going in life with this? And if you're the person in between and you're the person in the sandwich generation, you're really fucked.
I mean, unless you can reframe this, unless you can figure out how to reframe this.
Right.
I mean, and if you can't reframe it, this is where maybe the communication that you're having is partially because you can't get in a new frame. And it's really getting in your way.
Well, tell me how you reframe that.
Well, what I say is, wow, so body failure, but not Arnie failure.
Okay.
And I can deal with body failure. I'm an OT. I mean, we deal with, the reality is bodies fail. And you do the best as you can. And then the body's going to do what it's going to do. And you know what? We manage things. We manage input, we manage output. How you manage it varies by individual. You know, I don't care about pee. I don't care about poop. I'm not great with vomit, but I can do it. You know, I do dog vomit all the time around here. People vomit, a little more problematic. But I've learned to manage it. So for me, as I am as a human being, that's just a byproduct. I mean, that's just something you do. What's most important is the relationship that we have. And if I can appreciate the relationship by appreciating you as you are, not as you used to be, but who you are. I mean, like, I didn't know Joanna when she was a hardworking university hard-ass professor who was administrator in this and that and the other. I've only known Joanna since she's this amazing human being that does this amazing stuff. And I've only known you since you're a retired physician who still has incredible insights into this world. And so for me, there's great pleasure in being with you. And if it means, you know, I'm picking you up off the floor and figuring out, have you broken anything? Are you okay? I'm fine with that. I mean, it's just something you do. I mean, it's not going to define our relationship.
And you also ask permission, Teepa,
Oh, yeah.
which
Well,
is,
there's that.
back to the incontinence thing, which is
Yes.
initially kind of shock when you realize, oh, I can't control this. And, I have my own bathroom. My husband and I have separate bathrooms because that's just how it is here. But he will always check in with me. He knows that it frustrates me and irritates me. This has been going on forever, for a long time now. This
Sphincter control sucks.
right. And so, but he'll kind of ask me through the bathroom door, everything okay? And I'll either say, I'm either crying, I'm just so frustrated. I need him to come in and assist. Or I say, I'm a big kid now, bump, bump. And I say that because it's fucking funny as hell. And it's my cue to
And you can get the pull up on your own. Thank you. I can do the pull up
I'm
myself.
good. I can pull up my pants. I can fit.
I got it on front ways. I figured out how to get my legs through it. The pants are in the right place, not on the inside of my underwear, on the outside of my underwear.
He knows
great.
when I sing I'm a big kid now, we're all good. We're all good. I got it handled. And it's like I don't have to sit there and go, I know you guys are shaking your head, but it's just like I don't have to sit there and go, yeah, I'm okay. I just say I'm a big kid now. And we laugh, and
that's code.
That's kind of our thing.
That's code.
And yeah. But a lot of times I'm not a big kid. And I don't feel like a big kid, and I feel like I need him. And so, but at least he's not coming in full steam ahead, irritated and
stop. What are you doing? No, you've got him on. Hang on. You've got him on wrong. Whoa.
Yeah.
Let me do it. Stop. Just sit there, Joanna. I mean, and I wish I was saying things that I have not heard so many times. And you're talking about a spouse, but I'm talking about paid carers.
Right.
Who are treating the individual who doesn't like what's happening at all in a way that's so disrespectful in its tone of voice, its frequency, its intensity, its lack of respect for something that's not, I'm not being ornery. I'm really not. This is so hard. I think I know how to do this, and I go to do it, and I cannot friggin' figure it out. And it shouldn't be that hard. I know it shouldn't be that hard.
And sometimes you don't even know it happened. I've walked around for hours with pants that needed to be changed and not known it. Now,
yeah,
what do you want me to do?
It's just
right?
The sensory input system is not working right. That's all it is. The sensory input system is not working right in that moment. And for a while, and then all of a sudden it hits you. It's like, I am so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And only then your brain goes, well, you're wet. And it's like, isn't that interesting? I sure am. But it's almost like a discovery that you have to go to.
But that doesn't mean
if I tried pulling what would happen, Joanna?
It doesn't mean we're stupid and we don't know what this is. It's like, we're not retrieving.
It's not inputting.
What's happening. What is happening?
Yeah, the input, it's just not getting in there. So what would happen if I approached you without your permission and said, Joanne, I'm going to take your pants off. You're wet.
I don't even know if I would know did I spill something on myself?
Right.
Why is this an issue you have? Am I going to sit on your lap and sing you a song? What's the problem you're having here? Or can I not ride in your car? What's going on?
What if I start putting my hands on you now? Because now I'm no longer talking, I'm doing. What would happen, do you think, for you?
You might end up like the dining room chair.
Now we get to the story of the dining room chair, and I don't want to skip that because we have to shorten it up because we're tight on time. But I would love you to tell us the story of the dining room chair.
once upon a time, there was a bistro table and with 2 dining room chairs in our kitchen, and this was early on. This is kind of right around the first time we met, which was in the first couple years of my diagnosis. So 8 years ago, I was trying to boil water for some spaghetti or something, and I was doing it. But then all of a sudden, I heard the doorbell ring. Someone was at the door. But also at the same time that this was happening, the dogs were outside barking at something. But the water that was on the stove was already at boiling, and the doorbell was ringing, and the dogs were barking. And something happened, and I could not figure out what to do next. It was like the magic number was 3. I couldn't figure out, okay, turn off the stove or go to the door or ignore the door or peek out and see what the dogs are barking at. So I picked up the chair and I slammed it to the floor into probably a good 6 or 7 pieces. And then my husband came down from upstairs in his office and said, and I was kind of vibrating at that point. And he didn't even ask me what's wrong. He's like, oh, okay. Oh, I got it, honey. Turned off the water and ignored the door. Who the hell knows who that was? And the dogs were fine chasing a squirrel. But I just couldn't figure out what to do next. I don't know if that's maybe executive functioning, sequencing, processing. I don't know, but I used to be able to know. That's the thing is I used to be able to figure that out.
Yeah. And yet what you demonstrated was incredible physical strength directed not outward, but just trying to be released.
Frustration. Yeah, frustration. Because I know that I know something here needs to be attended to, but I don't know how to attend to it or fix it or make it stop ringing and barking and boiling. How do I do that? Tell me what to do. Nobody was there.
And he didn't tell you what to do, which was very insightful.
Yeah.
He turned off the water.
He knew right away what to do.
Mm-hmm. He checked on the dogs, and he either got the package dealt with at the door or they went away.
Yeah, he ignored that. But then it was like, now we have 1 chair. We have to go shopping. So it was bad.
Did you want physical contact back then?
Yeah, of course. I mean, yeah, who doesn't want physical contact with their spouse? With my spouse, nobody else. And the dogs.
And the dogs. How long did it take for your system to regroup after that happened?
Actually, it took a while. And I keep saying it didn't used to be that way. I don't think I need to say that. Arnie knows it. We didn't used to be like that. Mm-hmm. We haven't been this way our whole lives, but It takes so long because then I have this mess. I was never somebody who would destroy things, throw things. I just didn't operate that way. I had control of my body and my emotions. So, and then you have a big mess to clean up. People that throw dishes and make messes. And now I had this chair. So I knew that the chair was gone, and I knew I was frustrated and upset that this is now something I don't have the ability to control. I don't really know why. I hate that because it's certainly not going to get better. It hasn't gotten better in the last 9 years. And I miss having that control. I miss being able to do that. But it wasn't directed at anybody. And I did that chair. It wasn't directed at the chair or the floor. It was just, I have to do something. And I literally was vibrating. Like literally my whole body was going like this.
Yeah. Do you think at that moment that having drugs on board was what you would have needed, like a prescription medication? Would it have helped in any way? And that, I guess, for me, these situations where it's this degrees of stimulation that are coming in, to me, what needs to happen is we need to watch the environment and appreciate the environment for what it is and not blame the person and sedate the person to make it harder to function versus really recognizing, wow, that environment got out of control fast. Are there things we could, should do, or do we just need to be tuned into it? It's going to happen. Life happens. And we need to allow recovery time.
Yeah, recovery time. Yeah, you got to allow, I'll shut up. Recovery time. It takes a long time to get over an emotional or, it takes a lot longer. It takes a lot longer, sometimes days, sometimes hours.
Yeah. Arnie?
Yeah, I emphasize recovery is a major thing, and it takes different people different times to recover. Too many families or institutions just want to medicate the person to calm them down and kind of get them out of their hair so they can be controlled. I mean, the last thing, Joanna, when you broke that chair like that, that came from your roller derby days. To have the force to do that, I'm glad I wasn't your husband standing there, because it probably would have gone over his head.
I wouldn't ever hurt my husband.
Not intentionally.
No.
So
Did you roller derby at some point, Joanna?
Oh yeah.
Did you throw elbows at people?
No, that was junior high. I didn't start throwing elbows until a few years ago. And there's no roller skating going on there. Just
Subway time.
Know that this is totally manageable without drugging people. And I was so relieved immediately when he fixed the stuff I couldn't process fixing.
Yeah.
But
you didn't need drugs, you needed help.
Yeah.
I think that's the problem that we observe all too often is you don't need drugs, you need the right help. And it has to be somebody who gets it and observes the situation and then figures out what's something that could be helpful. So what I'd say for this evening, the thing that could be helpful is getting to know people like Arnie, people like Joanna, and becoming more dementia skillful and dementia competent. I'm very leery of the word dementia friendly because I think it's overblown and overused, and I don't think it represents the best of what we can do. And I'm a proponent of let's actually break the glass ceiling and let's stop seeing us versus them and really start recognizing wherever we are in a moment, we all are going to need support at some point, whether it's for not being able to hold your urine any longer, or maybe it's for not being able to hold your temper any longer, or maybe it's not being able to find the word you're looking for. Whatever it is, I hope there's someone next to you who's willing to give you a little grace and know how to offer what you need without so many words. So, Matthew, anything you want to close us off with, having been out there touring the countryside?
Big thank you to everybody out there commenting and telling us their stories and sharing. And definitely encourage folks to share this out because you never know who could really use this. And I think, Teepa, the best way to end tonight is let's throw an elbow at that glass ceiling and break that glass ceiling. Let's get rid of that.
Yeah. And let's start forming relationships that work and that matter and be willing to listen and learn. Arnie, any final words from you?
Yeah, the one final word that I would say is what we're all working at is let's break the stigma of what people see us as. We are still people.
First and foremost, and some amazing people. Joanna?
Sometimes the horse needs to be led to the water. See, I said horse.
You did a good job on that one.
Horse this
But
time.
sometimes other people need stuff to drink too. I mean, even
Right.
the horse deserves
Right.
something to drink.
Right. So yeah, a little patience goes a long, long way.
It does. And so does humor used accurately. Cheryl, anything you want to chime in with? You've been super quiet. Any piece of wisdom or something you want to share up?
I just want to say that I love every event that comes up. I look forward to Arnie's message come through on my phone of Happy New Year, happy this, happy that, and it's so great. And Joanna, I would love to get together with you again soon and have a glass of wine
Or water.
or water or coffee
Or water. Oh, Beth, anything from your side of the street?
No, I'm just lucky that you guys have been so willing to be so vulnerable, because it takes so much courage to talk about these things, and it's definitely making a difference in the world. Your advocacy work matters. It's changed my mind. It's changed so many people that I work with, and hopefully it changes just that one more relationship to make a difference. So thank you guys.
Thanks, everybody. Rachel, any last words from you?
Nope.
All right. Keep it short. All right, everybody out there. Appreciate you greatly. Thanks, everyone. And we'll talk again soon. Get curious and have conversations. It's the best way to learn. Bye, all.
Thanks, Teepa. Bye, everybody.